So today I wanted to look at what happened to William Case Calderon, who was the faceless and nameless protagonist of Black Ops 6. There was a lot of speculation around his fate at the end of 2024's game. Due to how it ended, we basically see Case fighting the antagonist Jane Harrow, and before the screen cuts to black, Case is choking out Harrow, ready to kill her as the helicopter they are in is flooding rapidly. Harrow would attempt to reason with Case, but we never see what happens next.
Case! Sit rep! Case, he responded. Livingston's cleared out the capital. Everyone's safe. It's over. We did it, Case. We did it.
Many would go on to assume that Case and Harrow both died there in the middle of the ocean, and this would further be more or less confirmed after Troy Marshall is heard saying that he attempted to call Case afterward and received no response. Now, we never get an update on Jane Harrow in the Warzone storyline. We never even hear the name Case again. Those characters were completely forgotten about after the Warzone storyline. And it's crazy because the speculation, the theories, everything surrounding Case and Jane were really big at the time for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Some of us even assumed or thought that if there was going to be no mention of them, then at least maybe in Black Ops 7 there might be a surprise appearance by Case or Jane, or maybe there was going to be some closure from Black Ops 6 in Black Ops 7, but that never ended up happening. Now, obviously, theories and stuff is nothing new in Call of Duty, and they are definitely fun, but in Black Ops 7 we meet an antagonist by the name of Gideon Faulner, who works for the Guild and Emma Kagan. Now, Faulner is a scientist who helped Kagan create the next version, or the upgraded version of the Cradle, some calling it the Cradle 2.0. Now, the only way to recreate the Cradle toxin and make it effective would be to find a sample of its first iteration and use that to develop the new one. So, how exactly did Faulner create the Cradle 2.0 that we see in Call of Duty Black Ops 7? Well, in the 8th mission of the Black Ops 7 campaign, you end up doing an operation titled Quarantine, where you're tasked with infiltrating Faulkner's apartment and recovering valuable intel. Now, the intel that you recover is titled Case, which is found on the table in Faulkner's apartment, and this is what the intel reads. Of all the CIA's dirty secrets, and there are many, the Cradle is my favorite. First tested on William Calderon, I believe the CIA failed to grasp the toxin's potential. See, Emma's vision needed a catalyst, and the moment I found that sample, I knew I had it. So, after doing a little bit of research online, the only answer that I could find is that Gideon Faulner recovered the sample off of Case remains. This sample was extremely unique and important because Case volunteered for the Cradle program back in the 80s and was inferred to be the only one to go through with the experiment. And Kagan wanted to create chaos and needed the Cradle 2.0. So the only way to do that was to have the sample. And so I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that Gideon Faulner knew somehow of the Cradle, and through research or inside sources within the CIA was able to get the location of the final fight where Case and Jay Harrow fought. And I also wouldn't put it past him to have some sort of expedition in that area to recover or to look for the bodies of Case and Jane, where he could have extracted the Cradle sample that he needed to be able to upgrade the Cradle in the modern world of Black Ops 7. So basically what Gideon Faulner could have done is go to the site, find some sort of remains for Case, extract the body, and extract the sample from inside of him, from his blood or from whatever was left inside of him from his remains. I don't know exactly how that stuff works, but that's what could have happened, and that's how he got his hands on that. So if this theory would turn out to be true, then the question of Case and Harrow was actually answered in Black Ops 7. They both did die that day on the helicopter, and many years later, Case's body would be disrupted by a new evil looking to profit using the Cradle 2.0. So I wanted to take a look at this today because it was something very interesting. Honestly, we haven't covered much of Black Ops 7 on the channel this year because the lore and the story I was just so disappointed in, but we have a few things lined up over the next few days that I've been working on over the past few weeks, talking about different characters and their stories and their lore, and we're just going to dive a little bit deeper into Black Ops 7. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that's how it happened, or maybe something different occurred that I may have missed? And now, if you don't like this theory, what are your theories? How do you think Gideon Faulkner was able to extract the sample from Case? Was there any other possibility that you guys could consider?